Who's got it? Good job.
I don't know why
Because I told you all to try. So you should get $364,980.63. That then is our debit to our income summary. Okay. Debits have to equal credits. Now, here's where we have to be careful because we need to, first of all, there's a lot of accounts, so we need to make sure that we get all of those accounts. And we also need to make sure that we get the numbers correct and then add the numbers up correctly as well. Okay. What is our next closing entry? Part C. Our income summary. Good. Now, do we know our balance of our income summary?
Yes.
Okay.
We just track. Yeah. I guess we don't.
Here's the thing. It's not like we can look on our...
Yeah.
If we look here, is this our balance of our income summary from worksheet? No, this is one number, but remember, we already did 2 closing entries to income summary. So we also have a credit to income summary, and then we have a debit to income summary. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the 2 credits that we have. Okay? Income summary credit. We're going to take that first number. So get out your calculator, 1,848.25. For our closing entry, we also had a credit. What was our credit here? $436,415.57. Do we add credits together or do we subtract them? We add them. We add them together because they're 2 credits. Then we have 1 debit. What are we going to do with this debit? We're going to subtract then. Okay, what is that number that we got? Good. $73,283.19. This is the number that we should have for our balance and income summary. How do I know that I'm right? Good. I want to go back to my worksheet and I want to look at my net income. Notice that it is the same number as my net income. No. Listen. Can I just use instead? No. I mean, I could, because that's what the number is supposed to equal, but why should I not do that? You want to check, because remember I said that we have a lot of accounts here, and it would be easy for us to mix up a number or to add wrong, and then we might get this number wrong here or one of these here. We want to check and make sure that the number we get for our balance in our income summary equals that net income. Okay. Now, that balance that we got in our income summary, is that a debit or a credit?
Debit.
And we agree, is that a debit or a credit? Credit. Remember, here's it. We can see just from here, here's my credit. Is my credit larger than my debit? So I had a credit balance. So what do I need to do to income summary to close it? I need to debit it. Good.
Thought you credit retained earnings.
You do.
Well, no, I'm confused.
We're debiting income summary and we're crediting.
You just said income summary, it was credit.
It was a credit balance, but we're closing it, and so to close it, we have to debit it.
Alright.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess so.
If you want to think of it as a T account, income summary. Okay, that first.
Paula Nelson, please call the main office. Paula Nelson, please call the main office.
That's that first number as a credit, and then we had another credit here. 4, 6, 4, 7. and then we have the debit. We want this to be back down to 0, okay?
Yep.
So, are you getting it now? Okay. You're welcome. Okay, so like we said, we're going to credit our retained earnings. For that same amount. Okay, and the last thing then that we need to do is close what? We need to close dividends. We need to close dividends. So when we go back to our worksheet, we're going to see on our worksheet, our dividends number is in our balance sheet, but that is the number that we want to use, okay, the 16,000. Now that is a debit account. So what do we want to do to dividends? We want to credit it. Good. So what are we going to debit then? Because we've closed income summary, what are we going to debit this time? Retained earnings. We are taking that dividend out of our retained earnings. Okay, so hopefully this is somewhat easy. Once we understand that there's 4 different entries, we first close the credit columns of the income statement, then we close the debit columns of the income statement, then we close net income, which in turn really is our income summary, and then we are going to close our dividends. Okay, we're going to have 4 different closing entries. It is a lot of work just because of all of the accounts that we have to write out. So it's more tedious, time-consuming than it is hopefully difficult. Any questions on this? Yes.
For the last retained earnings and dividends, where do you get the number?
We got that 16,000 off of our worksheet. So when we look back at our worksheet for dividends, the balance is 16,000. We want to bring dividends back down to 0. So that's why we credit dividends for 16,000. Since we credit something, we have to have a debit. We're going to debit our retained earnings because that's not anymore our retained earnings. It goes to our stockholders. Anything else?